to the mall. Oh, this is not a French lesson. This is a German lesson. This is lesson number 4. So if you remember in lesson number 3, we talked about the subject pronouns and how we conjugate a regular verb in German. In this session, we're going to talk about a different category of verbs in German. So the first thing we talked about was regular verbs. The second category is, as you know, irregular verbs. And the third category are the modal verbs in German. So basically, these are the 3 categories of verbs we have in German. And we need to understand which one is which. But the good news is, when it comes to modal verbs, there is no more than 6 of them. So this is something very promising about the modal verbs in German. So today I'm going to teach you what are the most important keys in German. So today we're going to talk about the irregular verbs in German, and in the following lesson we're going to cover the modal verbs. So let's go to irregular verbs. Now here I think we're going to have to need this table, and we're going to use it here. Yeah. So an example of an irregular verb in German is the verb fahren. Fahren has 2 meanings, basically. The first meaning is to travel by a vehicle. Now, if you want to travel by your car, then there are 2 possibilities or 2 options. The first possibility is either you are the driver who drives the car or the vehicle, or the second option is maybe you are not the driver and you're traveling in that car, by that car. So fahren has basically these 2 meanings. But if a verb like fahren is irregular, there is something to know about. And this is maybe very important to know, because this is really, really important. And this is an important point, basically. So fahren, which is an irregular verb, has a different conjugation than machen, which we did in the previous session or lesson. When we say a verb is irregular, the first thing which needs to come to your mind is that this verb is, the irregularity is shown or is displayed or is demonstrated only and only in 2 pronouns. The second singular pronoun and the third. Just remember that. Here. So this is going to be the red zone, basically. So these red ones, du, er, sie, es mal. The rest are the same. Now we want to do fahren here. So let's say this is, so the root for fahren, if we remove en, is going to be fahr, right? This is the stem or the Stamm or the root, let's say. So der Stamm is the root. So don't worry about this der, because I'm going to talk about this in future. Or maybe we don't need it now. Okay, forget about that. So because my lessons are designed in a way that you don't need to study anything in advance, or I don't want an element to be unknown to you because I don't like it. So this is not the way I teach with presuppositions. I do not do that. So we don't need any previous knowledge or previous information so as to know how this goes on. This is all we need to know. That's all there is to it. So no more thing. Ich fahre. So the same thing we do. Ich fahre. So fahre. This is like a re. If you don't know how to pronounce this R, which is a re in German, you can put some water in your mouth, okay, and gargle. God forbid, and you have a sore throat, maybe sore throat. So this is how it goes. I have a glass of water over here. This might sound funny, or you may think I'm being facetious, but I'm not. This is what it actually is. Fahren. So here you say ich fahre. Basically the same as what? The same as machen, which we said ich mache. Now here we say du fahrst. Now I know that maybe you have previous knowledge and you said this is not correct. Well, yeah, you are right, but let's go and let's see how it unfolds in future. So this is the third person, and again here we have fahren, as we said before, fahren, and again the same thing here, fahren, because we talked about these plural pronouns, stuff, fahren, and again the same thing over here. Yeah, now we're good to go. So here, and again fahrt. Yeah, so the same as machen, as you remember. Now what we do here is the only thing which we change here is this a. This irregularity shows itself in second and third person singular pronouns in German. So basically you say here, and again we have here, yes, this R changes into this R, which has two dots above it. If you see this R basically has the sound of e. So you say du fährst e. Du fährst. You don't say du fast. Just remember that. So this is basically conjugated the same thing, but the root, there is a change in root. The first letter, which can take an umlaut. An umlaut basically is the changing of the sounds in German, and this is a linguistic process. Maybe this term is linguistically well known to us and introduced to us, but we do not need that. Basically, umlaut means there is going to be a change from, for example, A to E. So du fährst means you drive. Er fährt, the same thing. Er fährt means he drives. Sie fährt means she drives. Es fährt means it drives. And man fährt means one drives, or you, generic you drive. Wir fahren. Wir fahren. We drive. Ihr alle fahrt means you all drive. Sie, die fahren. Sie, die fahren means they drive. And again, Sie fahren means you, formal and also polite and also singular, drive. Just remember that. This is only one person. This Sie. Okay, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this very short lesson. This was lesson number 4. I tried to explain everything actually very short, clear cut, and also crystal clear. Please, if you like the videos, follow them in series. I want you to go to lesson 1 and follow the lessons. Then you will understand how your German is going to be developed. These lessons are basically designed in a way. I'm teaching you from a book which I have written, but the book unfortunately right now is not available in English. So we're going to try to make it available to the market, but what we need to do now is to follow the lessons as they are. So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, and yeah, in this format. I wish you all the very best, and I'm going to get to see you in lesson number 5.